Hi folks, this is the Celtic Forever podcast. I'm Xander. We've got John here to go through everything Celtic, everything that happened in midweek in Europe. We're going to touch on the Hibs game as well at the weekend. Going to go through all the news, competitions, everything else in between. A lot to get through, so let's say hello to John. How are you, John?
I'm good after last night anyway.
Well, that's where we want to start into is the European games. We will do the preview in about 10 minutes, folks, for the Hibs game, but midweek games in Europe, John. The one each draw with the nothing each draw. The one each draw was right the first time with Red Star Belgrade. There's a lot of people unhappy with that. You know, we both said on the preview it was going to finish a draw. It did finish a draw. It was written in the stars that was going to finish even Stevens that game. But a lot of people unhappy with it, John. And then you look at Rangers last night, and I know Rangers are a lot worse team than Celtic, but you know, sort of puts that, you know, into the light, doesn't it, that result. You've got to bear in mind Red Star Belgrade are top of the league. They're unbeaten in something like 20 games, John. So they were a very decent team, whereas Genk were, well, you know, where were they now? Like 14th, is it, John, in the league? Struggling, hardly had a win, and they went to Ibrox and turned them over. So for me, it was a decent point anyway.
It was a good point for me, but back into Loch Lomond for the Rangers. Back in, the plan B is always back into Loch Lomond. Punishment exercise, must do better.
Yeah, must do better. And we're going to stick with that for the time being, John, actually, because there's a few wee things that annoyed me about this couple of days in Europe. And I know people say, oh, here he goes, moaning again, stuff like that. But, you know, I watched bits of the Rangers game and I listened to bits of the Rangers game last night. I didn't have the time to watch the full game. I listened to some on the radio. And, you know, honestly, John, TNT Sports not showing, you know, the after the game analysis, they show you the incidents of the game, they talk about the game, they show you the penalties, any cards, you know, all the usual stuff they do. They never done any of it. You know, I don't know if this Emma Dodds has any say on whether they do the analysis and they show the slight highlights at the end, but they never showed any of it, John. I was a bit disappointed in it because I never seen quite a lot of it and I wanted to see it at the end of the game. So your analyst, John, Emma Dodds, she's obviously the anchor for TNT Sports, which I don't understand, to be honest with you. She's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. And then you've got the ones standing beside her as well, John. Alan Hutton, Scott Arfield. And then Alan McCoy came down into the mix as well from the gantry. He came down to talk about it as well, John. And it's absolutely pathetic. And there was a stage in the proceedings where the four of them just stood there and never said a word for about 5 seconds. Near the end of it, they were all absolutely gutted, John. They didn't show any professionalism whatsoever. And they couldn't hide their colours, John. I don't know if you saw it or not.
No, I never seen that. I think just a wee clip of the interviews at the end, or the post-match reaction, if you like. It was just a couple of minutes I seen with Alan McCoy standing there. He ought to shave that hair off, by the way. When you get to that stage of baldiness, don't try and hide it. Get it shaved off, McCoy. You look stupid, man, honestly. Big patch right through the middle of your seat and a fringe. It looks stupid. That's by the by, never mind. But no, I never seen any of the interviews. I seen the interview with O after the game. I seen that. Obviously, I don't know if that was added in post-match because I never watched the game. I only watched the 4 minutes of highlights and a 1 minute clip of McCoy's Hutton and what's the other one, Arfield.
Yeah,
that's all I've seen. I've not seen anything else, Sander. The wee interview with O, class act.
Yeah, and we'll get to it in a minute, John. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up was because the night before, Emma Dodds, the exact same person, remember, Emma Dodds, and she had Big Mialbi and Stalin Petrov in the studio talking about the Celtic game after it. And they must have showed the Red Star Belgrade goal about 10 times. So I don't know if she has the authority to you know, not show these clips and these highlights after the game? I don't know, but there was absolutely zero when Rangers lose to Genk, and every single incident that was against Celtic was shown on TNT Sports the night before. So I don't understand it, John. I know it's just a wee thing, but they just could not hide their disgust at that result for Rangers. And we'll stick with that, John, because I wanted to move on to the BBC, because I did say that I listened to bits of it. You've got to remember, these people are supposed to be impartial, John. You've got Thompson on the BBC. You know, this guy, he's the anchor for Sports Scene, isn't he, Thompson? And Ferguson on the BBC as well, John. I don't know how many times I heard them saying we this, we that. Now, this is taxpayers' BBC. You've got to remember, John, licence payers, BBC, Thompson, we, Ferguson, we. It's not Rangers Radio we're listening to here, John. It's supposed to be the British Broadcasting, John, that we're listening to. It's not Rangers Radio or Rangers TV. It's pathetic, and it really annoys me.
I don't listen to BBC. I meant to listen to it last night. I always listen to BBC, not always, but sometimes listen to BBC after Rangers get beat, because I know they're all blue noses there. It's good to listen to them all morning and stuff, but I didn't listen to it last night. But if you've got guys, what Ferguson was it? Wasn't it Barry Ferguson? Derek, I take it, aye.
Yeah.
Aye, but there you go. That's just the way it is. We've spoke about it multiple times on here, how BBC is just like Rangers Radio. It's not worth listening to for any supporter of any other team. You know, even if you're a Kilmarnock, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts fan or whatever, it's not worth listening to, because it's all about Rangers for them. It always has been. As far back as I can remember, it's always been about Rangers. And they have a wee gloat when Celtic lose points. That's all over Scottish media. That's not just BBC. And like you say, it's TNT Sports as well. That's the whole of Scottish media is exactly the same, Xander. We just need to live with it and get on with it.
Yeah, that's it, John. Absolutely not one replay of any incident at Ibrox after the game. I think it's absolutely people are actually paying subscriptions to TNT Sports, John. People are paying hard-earned cash for that. They want to see it, even if they get beat. They want to see the decisions rerun, John, and there was absolutely not one rerun. So, absolutely, they must have been totally sick with that 1-0 defeat to a pathetic Genk team who has up front, who should have scored a double hat-trick. In fact, let's get into that, John. Let's get into the we're going to mention ex-Celtic striker so we're allowed to talk about it. How many chances did he miss? You know, we understand he got the winning goal, and we're all happy with that. I even put a wee video on for after it, and that's absolutely flying as well on both YouTube and Facebook, John. But he should have scored a double hat-trick, John. Let's be honest, that was some pretty dreadful finishing from But the goal itself, the winning goal, John, that was a brilliant finish. So that's just typical wasn't it? It was the exact same at Celtic. He would miss chances, and then fire home an absolute belter. And it was the same at Ibrox last night in 90 minutes.
Aye, it was a nice finish. It was the hardest chance. All the chances that had, that was the hardest one. And like you says, that is just all over the back in it. He always scored a nice goal at Celtic and missed sitters from 5 yards out or whatever. I mean, last night he missed a sitter from 1 yard. I mean, I seen the highlights clip, like I says, 4 minutes of TNT highlights. That's all I've seen. And like he says, could have had probably 5 goals on his own.
Yeah, absolutely, John. But he done the job. You know, he done it. He done what he was asked to do. Score the goal. Get Genk off to a flyer. 3 points in the Europa League. Sitting above Celtic, aren't they? Celtic with 1 point. Let's touch on that. We'll not do a full post-match on that. We'll have a wee word on it, John. Let's do it just now before we get into the Hibs game. To me, it was a decent point because that was very hostile atmosphere in that stadium. I don't think Red Star Belgrade were anything special, but they didn't give the ball away that often. I don't think they were quite crisp with their passing. They always found their pass, whereas Celtic, on the other hand, were quite sloppy, to be honest with you, John, giving the ball away all the time. You know, especially when we were up the other end of the park trying to attack. They would take the ball off us or a slack pass, John, and they would just hit us on the counter attack, and that's where they got their chances from. We need to cut out that sloppiness, John, especially in Europe, because you're going to get punished.
Aye, I kind of predicted the way the game would go. Celtic would dominate possession, but they would look lethal on the counter attack. That's exactly what I predicted, and I predicted a draw. So, me personally, I'm not in the slightest surprise with what happened in that game. It's exactly what I expected. I think you were the same as well. We basically got what we expected. A draw. Celtic dominating possession, really, in their own half mostly. And Red Star, quite impressive on the counter-attack. Decent team. And for me, it's a decent point in a hostile atmosphere. I'm happy enough with the point. Just considering everything, I think Red Star, they haven't lost a game in a while. Celtic, a bit of controversy surrounding Celtic right now with the board and the fans. I thought Celtic put in a half decent shift, Sander. I think the second half was a hell of a lot better when they took Maida off.
Yeah, Dyes has to get his head sorted out. He didn't even come on for the second half, did he? And talking about the mess at Celtic just now, excuse me, there is 3 further silent protests arranged for Celtic Park, the next 3 home games, starting with Hibs at the weekend. So the fan protests are continuing, John. There's another 3 silent protests on the way. They just try to make a point, the fans, and we totally understand that, don't we?
Aye, absolutely. And it's Hibs coming to Celtic Park on Saturdays. It's going to be a very tough game, by the way. I know we'll talk about that later, but 3 games in 6 days, Sander. That's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, John. But we're used to that, that's been happening for a long time now, into these 3 games in 6 days carry on. That's why he has to rotate the team, the manager, and he will do that on Saturday, I think, to be honest with you, John. But we'll get into that in the preview. I sort of went off track there, sorry, John. Back to O. He was, you said you listened to his interview. I've not heard the interview, John. What was he saying?
No much. It's just his English is pretty broken, and he doesn't speak that much English. I think he was misunderstanding the questions that was getting thrown at him. Just the general consensus being, I'm happy I got the goal and won the game, and it's good to win at Ibrox, that kind of stuff. But I think there was a wee bit of misunderstanding the questions that was getting asked him, because he was, if you watch that interview, count how many times he actually shrugged his shoulders. As if, if you look at body language, that's telling me I don't understand the question. So It was kind of the broken English kind of thing, being asked questions by a Scottish journalist. It's not always easy when you're a guy from abroad, but I don't think speaks perfect English anyway. So, but if you watch it, and anybody will agree that watched it, there was a lot of shoulder shrugging. Every time a question was asked, his shoulders were going up and down as if I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I got with it.
Yeah, that's fair enough, John. But, I watched the first 10 minutes of that game, and I think Owen missed a chance or two, and you've got ex-players, like McCoist, laughing at this guy, so hopefully the laughs are rammed in his throat, to be honest with you, John, because it was made them eat their words, not just McCoist, by the way, the commentator as well, laughing at all. It's absolutely pathetic. Back to Celtic, John. Iniacho, he came on, didn't he? He scores the goal. I can't wait to see a fit Iniacho, John, because I did say this before he even kicked the ball, that he was a decent player. I did say that. You said it as well. You said he's a decent player, going by his previous, records at former clubs. I know over the last year and a half he's not done much, but if we can get Iniacho to 100% match fitness, John, and he looks quite lean, by the way, he looks very fit, but it's match fitness he's needing, John, and he bags that goal, and there's a brilliant wee finish as well. Great assist by Nygren. But what a finish, John. Top corner, goalkeeper no chance. And he had another couple of chances he could have done slightly better, but I think that's just down to match sharpness, John. But I think we've got a play in our hands, hopefully.
Well, we've been missing a striker.
Yeah.
We've been missing a decent striker, haven't we? We've been missing a decent striker. And like you say, he had a couple of probably easier chances, I would say. He could have done better with, but look, the finish that he produced in the game itself was an outstanding finish. And you can see he's got that instinct of a striker. I think he's going to be decent for us, and I can see him finishing on 25, 30 goals this season.
I hope you're right, John. I hope, because he was another one that was laughed at by the Scottish press, wasn't he? I mean, I'm just sick of this Scottish press, to be honest with you, John. I know people saying, listen to him, it's the Scottish press, we should be used to it. But no, you don't get used to this, degrading of players and degrading of former players and degrading of Celtic as a club. You don't get used to it. We are the champions. We are the team going for 5 in a row. We are the dominant club in Scotland, John. We shouldn't be getting laughed at by idiots in the press. Right, I need to calm down.
No, really, because we shouldn't be getting laughed at by Rangers supporting press, and that's all we've got in this country. Probably 95% of them. They can't laugh at. How can they laugh at Celtic when they're sitting second bottom of the Premier League? Second bottom. Let that sink in. A team that's sitting second bottom and they're having a go at Celtic.
Yeah, I know, John. This idiot Thompson on the BBC, apart from Bhoys, he's the worst I've heard, Thompson, and he's actually one of their main analysts and anchors, if you like, John. It's pathetic. It really is. It's quite bad. Anyway, let's move on, John. Let's get back into a wee quick word. One more word on the Celtic game in midweek, Red Star Belgrade. We'll get to the Hibs game in a wee second, I promise you, folks. Their equaliser, John. Looking at the game, we should have actually won the game, to be perfectly honest with you, John. I think we had the chances, it was a slack goal to concede as well. It was absolutely one of the horrible goals to concede into it. Stramash on the line. Honestly, John, it's a game we should have picked up all 3 points, I think.
It could have went that way. By the way, and that Stephen Thompson guy, he shouldn't be leading, what do you call it, the analysis on BBC. I mean, years ago in the past, I'm just digressing a wee bit before we get back to the Celtic game. Years ago in the BBC, you had professional, educated people doing the analysis on BBC. And now you've got Kevin Thompson sitting there as if he's talking to his mates in a pub. What did you think of that, Michael Stewart? Michael Stewart, he's talking about, he all his nicknames in it, the Stewartmeister, the Mikey boy and all that. What's all that about? Try and be professional. They've got this clown on BBC talking like that, when what I'm used to in the past was professional, educated journalists. And now you're getting this absolute guff Rangers cheerleaders talking to guys on the panels if it's their mates down the pub. It's not acceptable for me, that, Xander. That's why I don't watch it.
That's right, John. You had people it was a laughing figure, Dougie Donnelly, but he was, as you say, he was educated. He wasn't wearing blue tinted spectacles every time he spoke, John. Archie McPherson, people like that. It's a great point you're making, actually, John. It's an absolutely fantastic point that you're making there, John. And there's many, many more that were in the press years and years ago, John. And now, as you say, we've got Alan McCoist, Thompson, Emma Dodds, these people obviously next to the likes of your Archie McPherson's, John. They just shouldn't be in that position, should they?
No, you're right, and I've always thought that way. That's why I don't listen to it or watch BBC, because what I hear and what I see, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. These guys shouldn't be anywhere near professional journalism. They're no professional journalists. They're football players, and bad football players at that, ex-football players. Why are these guys leading on the BBC and Sky and all that? I mean, it's brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. I think these big media companies need to get their act together and get some professionals in. Yeah,
it's professionalism we need, John. And not just Celtic fans wanting professionalism. It's every club in Scotland want to see a bit of professionalism, a wee bit of unbiased views, John. That's all we're looking for. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? All right, John, we'll park that there. Let's get back into the game. We'll finish off with the game, actually, John. So what was your overall thoughts then? Happy with the point? We move on to the next game at home. I suppose you've just got to move on. And that's exactly what we're going to do, John, because we're going to talk about Hibs in a wee minute.
Aye, absolutely. I'm happy with the point. I mean, we could have won that game. We could have held on to win it. I think Red Star could have been beaten on the night. I definitely do, but I don't think Celtic did enough in the first half. There was lazy, lethargic performance in the first half. Dyson very lazy. No like Dyson to be lazy like that. But there you go. That's what happened in the first half. Nothing, basically. I think the second half was 100 times better. I think the Celtic players seemed to be more confident in the second half when we had a proper striker up front. Oh, I'm not taking away from Dyson. Great player last season. Bagged his 30 goals. He's a fantastic player. Probably one of the best players at Celtic, if not the best player at Celtic. But I just fear his head's in the wrong place at the moment and it's time for a change up front. But do you think the move... taking Dyson off was the right move? I think you could have put Dyson on the right and took Yang off. I think Yang did absolutely nothing throughout that game.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people on Facebook. I know we're on YouTube just now, but over on Facebook, you're getting thousands of comments, John, right? And obviously I don't reply to them all. I just don't have the time. But I do have the time to reply to the ones on YouTube. But there's hundreds of people over there leaving comments not happy with Yang even starting the game, John. So you did say in the preview that you thought Forrest would start this one. And obviously that's where we're struggling over the right-hand side, isn't it, John? So he's sticking with Yang. But as you say on the preview, I think Forrest, with his experience in Europe, John, he should have started that one for me.
100%. I think Jamesy Forrest's experience, don't know how many European games he's played. I think the commentator mentioned it the other night. A lot of European experience, and he starts with Yang, who to me contributes nothing to the Celtic team. I know he scored a nice goal at the weekend, but against Red Star he was invisible. I think he could have stuck Dyson over on the right and put Iniacho through the middle in the second half. But no, he kept Yang on. Forrest came on later on, and I think it made Celtic look like a much stronger side.
Yeah, we shouldn't be, Brendan, sorry, as a manager, shouldn't be at the learning stage in Europe just now. He's had plenty of experience with Celtic in Europe. He should have known that Forrest would have been the better option over there. But anyway, John, we'll park that there because we've got a lot to get through. We move on, we take the point, we move on. And thankfully, we've got a home game coming up, John, and this is where the preview starts for the Hibs game. We've got a home game, finally. That Bowling Green of surface at Celtic Park, John, is finally going to get used this weekend, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Saturday kick-off, 3 o'clock, can't beat it, John. It's just good to see the Celtic back at Paradise, John. It's been a long wait.
It has been a long wait. And we're all looking forward to seeing Celtic Park again, see the grass, how it is. It must be absolutely minted, like he says in the last podcast. Must look like a snooker table by now. It's just not been touched in 38 days now. So, yeah. We're just looking forward to seeing Celtic back at Paradise again. It's been a long wait.
It's been a very long wait, John. You say snooker table is a perfect example. I say Bowling Green, but no, snooker table is better. And by the way, quick word on the competition before we move any further. Get your guesses in, folks. Big 25-player league on the right-hand side there of your screen. Get your guess in for the competition.
Hello and welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. This is just a reminder to all the league competition members to get your guess in before the big upcoming match. Don't miss out on your chance to win the huge box of assorted Celtic goods. It's a must-win for any Celtic fan. The rules are simple. Just get your guess into the comments section on YouTube, and we're only looking for the correct score. So just put your prediction into the comments section on YouTube, the correct score for the upcoming match. But please remember that only guesses in the YouTube comments section will count. And also remember that guesses after the kick-off time will not be accepted. From Xander and from John, we'd like to thank you all for your support on the channel, and good luck to everyone involved in the 25-person league table competition. Thank you, good luck, and hail to all.
Right, John, so that's the competition. Get your guesses in, folks, because if you don't, you'll miss out on a potential 3 massive points. The competition for midweek there, 2 people got it right. I forgot to mention that as well, John. 2 people got it right. One club since 1988 has now won 3 points, and Collins is now on 6 points. John, Collins is catching up very, very slowly but surely. He's up there now in 3rd position with 6 points with you, and Roseanne's still at the top of the 9, and everybody else below on 3, and then a few at the bottom, including myself, on the 0 points. So get your guesses in, folks. 1 guess each. Fantastic prize, as the wee clip said there a minute ago. Just get your guesses in, folks. Don't be too late. Right, John, let's get back into the big game. Hibs winless in 22 visits to Celtic Park, John. I think that's what David Gray was talking about. History, breaking history. Or making history, should I say. 22 visits, not 1-1. He's thinking he's going to go there on Saturday and win the game. Nothing's impossible, of course, but we did mention in the preview of the Red Star game, John, that don't come up with brash statements like that when you've just lost to an absolutely pathetic Rangers team and couldn't beat a pretty poor Falkirk team, John. So he wants to make history, but you know, the history is against him with 22 games with not 1-1 at Celtic Park.
Aye, well, this is it. I mean, I don't know why it always happens when it comes to Celtic. They start putting these big statements out for their clubs. We're going to do this and that. We're going to make history. Why do they always say that when it comes to Celtic? Probably because Celtic are the best team in Scotland by a country mile. That's probably why. But you never hear them saying that when they're going to Ibrox.
Well, they played at Ibrox a few days ago and you never heard anything like that, John. Obviously, they won at Ibrox last year, actually, Hibs. So I just think it's do your talking after you've done it. You know, that's when you do your talking, when you've done the job, no before that. That's just going to annoy the Celtic players. So thank you very much, David Gray. Both teams unbeaten, John, this season. Both teams are unbeaten in the league, that is, of course. So it does make for an exciting game, like you said 10 minutes ago, John. Match day 6 and the cards. I think it's going to be very close again, John. But it depends what Hibs turns up. It depends what Celtic turns up. But you know, it may still end up both teams unbeaten come 90 minutes. It could end up a draw. But you know, one of these teams are going to lose that title of unbeaten in the league so far.
Look, we'll wait and see. I think the fact that Celtic's just played a very, very tough game in Europe 2 days ago. Well, it'll be 2 days on Saturday. I mean, they've only had 2 days rest here. That worries me with Celtic playing that amount of games in 6 days. But I suppose the good thing about it is there'll be plenty of energy in the legs to start the game. The players will be up to speed to be ready to go. That goes for Celtic. But it's the fact that the further the game goes on, how tired will the Celtic players be? How many changes will there be?
Yeah, there could be changes, like we said at the start there, John. But we'll go through that in a wee minute. Predicted 11 from you, John. I'll give the Hibs predicted 11, as we always do. We always give the home and away predicted 11s, John. So we'll continue with that. But we'll move on with this because let's continue with the form of both clubs. Hibs unbeaten, as I says, but that's 4 draws in amongst that, John, with 1-1. So it's a sort of a false unbeaten, if you know what I mean. There's only 1-1 in the 5 games, to be fair. Celtic, you look at Celtic's form, John. The Celtic are actually unbeaten in all 10 games they've played this season in 90 minutes. I know we got beaten penalties by Kairat Almaty. That sounds like shivering your spine, that name, didn't it? But John, 10 games unbeaten in 90 minutes. That is not bad form considering everything that's going on at Celtic just now.
Aye, Celtic are a form team, there's no doubt about it. Like I say, there's still a togetherness with the team. I just wish Kieran Tierney would get his act together and start smiling. He looks fed up when he's playing for Celtic. Don't know if, I mean, when Kieran played for Celtic previously, he always had a smile on his face, didn't he? He was like a warrior, he loved Celtic. Just when you see him just now, I don't know if just maybe he's concerned about his getting an injury or whatever, but he needs to start showing he's happy to be at Celtic.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy to be there, John, but I know what you're saying. He's maybe not 100% fit, John, and that's shown on the park with his no body language experts by any stretch, but maybe his body language is showing that his fitness just isn't quite there yet, John. But we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But he doesn't look, as you say, he doesn't look, there's no smiles on his face, like as you said before, when he was at Celtic. He couldn't keep the smile off his face. I think he was just happy to be there. But no, I don't think there's anything serious to worry about. I think it's just a fitness thing with Kieran just now. Back into Hibs then, John. Let's keep the form of both teams. Hibs kicked out of the Europa League. Hibs kicked out of the Conference League. Hibs kicked out of the League Cup by an absolutely pathetic Rangers team, as I say. So their form's going down and down and down and down. But obviously they're going to come to Celtic Park, John, and you'll see a different Hibs. That's what happens every single time.
Aye, but if Celtic are the best team in the country, so teams always raise their game against Celtic. I'm sure Hibs must have went to Ibrox thinking we can take them no problem, easy stuff, and they should have been 1-0 in front, to be honest with you. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the goal that was chopped off. So I think they should have beat Rangers, to be honest with you, but I think the goal getting chopped off for Hibs gave Rangers confidence. They went on to win the game 2-0. But aye, Hibs will raise their game against Celtic. It's the best team in the country they're coming to. And they'll maybe fancy their chances after Celtic only having 2 days rest.
Yeah, of course they will, John. And things that aren't quite settled at Celtic as well, as regards to fans, protests, board, manager, etc. That's all still bubbling away in the background, John. So the Hibs, they'll try and play on that as well. These silent protests, are arranged as well. So we just want all that mess cleared up. And by the way, the protests will end. There won't be any protests if the board come out and speak to the fan groups. I've heard that rumour, if you like. The protest will end if the board come out. But the board won't come out, John, because they're very stubborn.
I don't see them coming out and speaking to the fans anytime soon. They're hiding in their shells right now. So aye, look, we're here to talk about Celtic. I know that's a big part of Celtic right now, but we just want this to end. And it's sickening. It's annoying that all this is going on. Every Celtic fan wants it just to go away. We want the board to come out, say their piece, and we move on, Xander, and we go and win a treble this season, hopefully. But right now, it's just that kind of heavy weight on Celtic, isn't it, right now with all this? I don't mean a weight as in waiting time. It's a weight. It's like a 5-ton weight. And we just want it lifted. We want to feel we can be happy watching the team again and all this nonsense stops and we get this issue sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's like an anchor in the neck, isn't it, John? You're right. Yeah, absolutely bang on again. You're doing well today. You're absolutely accurate with everything you're saying. Like you always are, of course. John, let's get into the teams. There's a lot to talk about with the teams here. Manny, he is out for Hibs. Newell, he's also out for Hibs. That's the 2 injuries that they've got. So they've got their usual injuries, haven't they? Your Jotters of this world, Alistair Johnston's, Anthony Ralston, Big Trusty, he's still out injured as well, but Ralston could be on the bench for the weekend if he's near fitness. So, but that's your injuries anyway, John. There was no injuries picked up in midweek against Red Star Belgrade that I know of. I think everybody's came back fresh and fit. So, John, there's no change there on the injury front. I suppose that's good news. No more extra injuries picked up.
Aye, that's always good news to come back from Europe with no injuries or international breaks. That's good news. I think a few players will be rested though.
Yeah, getting the squads right now, actually, John. Let's do it just now because I'll quickly run through the Hibs predicted starting lineup, and they've got decent players. Hibs, John, they're a good team. They've got the likes of Cadden, who's a good player. Obviously, Bowie and Boyle are both decent players. Yeah, they're just littered with very decent players. And here's my lineup for Hibs anyway. This is who they'll start to play at the Champions. It'll be Smith in goals, O'Hara, Karanga, Iredale, Chris Cadden, Mulligan, Levitt, Nicky Cadden, Boyle, Bowie and McGrath. So that's my predicted lineup. What's yours for Celtic, John?
They've got good players. I do like that Bowie boy. I think he's a half-decent striker. We really need to keep an eye on him. Of course, Martin Boyle as well, isn't he? He's like the Hibs dies in my either, isn't he? Never stops.
Sorry, John, which side does he play on, Boyle? Is it the left or the right? I'm not too sure. See, if he's a right winger, we should have went for him.
Oh, he's a right winger, aye?
We should have went for him then. We should have sent him as a
I says that to you years ago, Xander. Celtic should have went for him, Martin Boyle. I've always liked him. And I mentioned this a few times on this podcast. He'd have been a fantastic fit for Celtic. He's direct, he's got tremendous pace, and he's got a great finish on him. I think Celtic, that could have been one for Celtic.
Especially with how short we are on the right-hand side. That is one, we've missed the boat there. We could have picked him up for buttons, John, because of his age. What is he, 30, 31? Boyle now. So I think we're short on the right wings now, John. We've got Yang, we've got Forrest, and that is it. We're having to play players out of position by playing Dyson over there, or whoever else can play over there, John, or who can't play over there, as the case might be, because we tried Balak Bishop as well, didn't we? And he couldn't do it either. So I think we missed the boat with that one, John. But anyway, we need to move on. If it's your starting lineup then, John, prediction for Celtic on Saturday against Hibs?
Well, let's hope he picks as strong as possible. I'm hoping there's no too many changes. I hope the Celtic boys are all ready to go. Yeah. He might get 60 minutes out of most of them, but let's go for it. Kasper Schmeichel, he'll start. He's our number one choice, strangely. I just prefer Sinisalo. Kasper's world class. I keep saying he's a world class keeper, but I just like Sinisalo. But no, Kasper will start this one. Yeah. Kasper Schmeichel, Scales and Vickers, they'll both start this.
Yeah.
Young Donovan, he's going to start this one.
Yeah, good player, John. Yeah.
I don't think Kieran's going to start this one.
Right.
I definitely don't. The other boy will start. What's his name? Forget his name. Aye, I think he'll start it.
Yeah.
He got a booking the other night when he came on, didn't he?
He did. I like him. Actually, I do like Sirachi. And by the way, you mentioned big skills. I don't know, I'm interrupting you, John, but he did not take any nonsense off Arnautovic, did he? No nonsense, right, head to head. In fact, I looked as though he was ready to kill him. Big skills, brilliant. What a guy, what a player. Just love him at Celtic, John.
I never realised why that clown gets so upset, by the way, the guy that scored their goal at Big Liam Scales. He's running in and barsing into Big Scales and all that stuff, but what a clown that guy was.
Yeah,
he's the most slappable face in football, isn't he?
Arnautovic. Yeah, we did speak about him, John, but he gets his goal and all. That's what's even more sickening about it. But no, big skills, take no nonsense off of anybody on that field, John. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, big skillsy. And I hope he does start against him. But on you go, John, sorry.
Anyway, it's going to be Scales and Vickers and Donovan and Sirachi with Kasper Schmeichel in goal, centre of the park. I think they might see a wee change in the centre of the park. Callum will start, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might see Engel starting in this one with, I don't know if it's going to be Rio or maybe Bruce Forsyth. I'm not sure.
Aye, look. Yeah. Who are you picking
I'm going to go for Luke McCown in this one, Engels and McGregor in the centre.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Just a guess, Sander. Just think Celtic might make a few changes. Up front, in the actual, right through the middle, he's got to start this one. The right-hand side, we'll get this out of the way first. Can it be Yang? It's got to be James Forrest. It's got to be the experience of James Forrest. I keep saying this, but he never does start. But I'm going to go for it this time. I'm going to stick with Jamesy Forrest on the right.
Yeah.
And on the left, what's his name, the new boy?
Sebastian.
Aye, he's going to start.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to start. He's some player, him. And he wasn't too good against Red Star. He wasn't getting the service and he wasn't getting the space either. But
He was okay. It was like you said, John, the second half, everybody was better, and he came out his shell a wee bit in the second half, like everybody else did. But no, he was fine. I think he'll start as well, actually.
I need to get used to these new Celtic players' names because I keep forgetting them. Apart from Iniacho, for some reason I always remember him.
Yeah.
But I need to get used to it. Early days, isn't it? It's me. Yeah. It's when you get old and doddery, you start forgetting stuff. Forget your own name sometimes.
Yeah, Sebastian's a bit easier to say than Tenecti, isn't it? So we'll stick to Sebastian. It's easy to remember, I suppose. He was okay. And I thought you didn't pick Rio in your lineup there, John. I thought Rio was dreadful on Wednesday night.
He was poor. Let's not beat about the bush. Rio was poor. That's why I've not included him in my starting lineup. I think there might be a wee change. I don't think Rio's performed that well in the past couple of games. Look, Rio was sliding and slipping all over the place against Red Star. I noticed that. Don't know if obviously the pitch had been heavily watered and it was raining. A lot of players were slipping and sliding, but it seemed to be just Celtic players that were doing that.
Yeah, because I did notice, I know you want to finish off your Predator, John, but I did notice a couple of players had changed their boots at half time. So, yeah, another good point. Yeah, I did notice that.
Well, the predictor's finished anyway, so that's okay, Xander. But I think Rio stood out for me as the guy that kept losing his foot and constantly losing the ball. So we might see a wee change at the weekend.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think there'll be changes as well, John. But we'll stick with yours for now, John. That's fair enough. Right, okay, let's have a wee quick word on the betting then. 2-7 Celtic, roughly 1-4, 1-3 or somewhere in between. 5-1 the draw, and 9-2, that's 9-1 Hibs to break the record, John, to get history. 9-1 for Hibs to make history by beating Celtic at Celtic Park. That's your odds. Maida is the favourite to score first in this one, John. He's priced at 9-4 to get the first goal. And in the actual second favourite at 5-1. Anybody fancies a wee couple of pound on in the actual, best price is 5-1 on in the actual to score the first goal. Referees for this one is Don Robertson. An absolute nightmare, this guy. Honest to God, when I saw it was Robertson refereeing this one, I just shook my head, to be honest with you. But he's a man in the middle anyway, Don Robertson, with Stephen McLean on the VAR. Anybody wants to know about the linesman? So we don't normally give the linesman, but we'll do it this time. Graham Stewart, he's on the left, and Chris Ray, he's on the right. That's your linesman for Celtic versus Hibs. What do you think of the officials, John? Stephen McLean and Don Robertson?
Aye, well, look, I don't mind Stephen McLean, but Don Robertson, I don't think he's won any Celtic fans' hearts over, is he? The guy's just an animal when it comes to Celtic.
The guy, you said after the Glasgow derby, John, that he should never referee another Celtic game again. That's how bad he was. And there he is, 2 weeks later, after the international break, first Celtic game at Celtic Park. So obviously the SFA listen to the Celtic Forever podcast. Okay. Right, just another wee quick reminder, get your guesses in for Hibs, folks. Get your guesses in for the correct score, because we're going to do the predictor right now. One guess each out of the comments, even if you're not in the league table on the right hand side there, get your guess in anyway, just a bit of fun. And get yourself on the board. Get 3 points on the boards. We'll start with this week's predictor then, John. A full brand spanking new predictor. Starting with Celtic against Hibs, Celtic Park, 3 o'clock on Saturday. What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm thinking close. I'm thinking close in this one. I'm really desperate for 3 points in this predictor to get me up the top of that table with Rosanna again, because Collins is caught up. But I'm going to go for 2-1 Celtic.
That is close, John. I'm saying 3-0 to Celtic. I think we'll get the job done very professional, because Hibs they are on that downward spiral, so I'll say 3-0. Fingers crossed one of us get it, John, because that means 3 points, as you say, on the board, doesn't it? And, you know, to go 12 points clear of Rangers would be absolutely fantastic at this stage in the season, John. 12 points clear with 6 games played. Unheard of stuff, isn't it? Right, John. Good luck anyway with that. Let's get into the rest of the predictor. We have who've we got? Hearts against Falkirk, John. Hearts versus Falkirk on Saturday. What do you think?
Well, they're flying at the top along with Celtic, isn't they? Hearts, it's got to be a Hearts win for me. I'm going to say 3-0 Hearts.
Aye, yeah, 2-0 for me, John. And Dundee United against... Sorry, not Dundee United. Yeah, Dundee United against Kilmarnock. I was right the first time. What do you think, John? United coming up the table there, doing okay. Kilmarnock's draw, classics. I think they've got draws all over the place in the league. A couple of wins as well. What do you think anyway? Dundee United, Kilmarnock.
I was watching the Dundee United against Aberdeen game. That was quite good. Dundee United turned them over, no problem.
Yeah.
But who doesn't?
That's right.
Apart from Celtic in the Scottish Cup. Going to go for, like you say, Kilmarnock, a lot of draws. I think Dundee United, they look decent. I'm going to go for a United 3-2 Dundee United.
3-2, right. More draws than Picasso. I'll go the draw. I'll go the one. Sure. 1-1 for me in that one. Let's move on. Who else we got? I'm trying to keep all the Saturday games together here, John. I know Livingston Rangers is Sunday, so we have St Mirren against Dundee. John, what do you think?
2-0 St Mirren.
3-1 St Mirren for me, John. I think they're absolutely fantastic, St Mirren. What a team they are. A great wee club as well, actually. So 3-1 for me. Who else we got? Oh, this is a good one, John. I think Aberdeen have played Motherwell a couple of times already this season in the Cup. But there it is, John. Motherwell against Aberdeen. What do you think?
2-1 Motherwell.
Yeah, they're in a bad way, aren't they, Aberdeen? You say they're going to have to win a game eventually, and I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to keep sticking with them till they get that win. That's why I've got 0 points. As you say, that's why I'm at the bottom of the league. But I'm going to stick with Aberdeen. I'm going to say 1-0 to Aberdeen, John. Stick with Saturday, Brunny Watch and Lenny Watch. We'll start with Brunny Ayr against Airdrie. What do you think, John?
3-1 Ayr.
Yeah, they've picked up a lot of confidence with that win against Dunfermline. So 2-1 to Ayr United in that one. And then Dunfermline at East End Park again. Another home game for them against Partick Thistle, John, the team we played last weekend. Partick's a decent wee team, but they're playing against, a team closer to their level. Dunfermline against Partick, John.
Oh, tough one, isn't it? You can't judge Partick Thistle by getting beat 4-0 by Celtic. I think a Lenny win, narrow 2-1.
And I'm going to narrow Partick win, John, 2-1. That's what I've got wrote down here. So reversal of your prediction. And we've got two more, John. Two more in this predictor. Short and sweet today. Livingston against Rangers. I mean, that's going to be a hard one to predict, although... Livingston and that plastic pitch. Rangers will have three sides of the stadium. It'll be like a home game, but you know what home games are like for Rangers these days. They don't do too well. Not seen too many American flags either, by the way. They seem to have disappeared as well. But Livingston against Rangers, what are you thinking, John?
Aye. That's a tough one, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Rangers have got to get a win sometime. I say this every week and it never happens. I'm like you with Aberdeen. They've got to get a win sometime, and I hope I'm proved wrong on this again for the 5th time or the 7th time, whatever it is. But I'm going to go for a Rangers win 2-0.
They're going to bounce back in there, let's be honest. And I'm going to say 2-1 Livingston. Right.
Right, so that's a quick change of mind there, wasn't it? I think the thing with Rangers is they've just, again, like Celtic, just back for a European game, 2 days rest. Well, even although they weren't playing away from home, it's going to be hard going onto that plastic pitch with only 2 days rest. So it could be a tricky one for them, but I'm sticking with 2-0 to Rangers.
Fair play, John. And one more, last one. It's the ladies play on Sunday. Montrose versus Celtic, John. Just a wee quick one. I know Montrose are not a great team in that, but what do you think anyway, buddy?
Well, I'll just go for a high score, 5-0 Celtic.
Aye, 7-0 for me. Okay, right, John.
Funnily enough, that's what I was going to say, Seven. I was thinking that's been a bit optimistic, but if you remember 2 seasons ago in the predictor, I actually predicted 9-1 to Celtic.
You did.
And it came in.
You did. That's right, John. And that's why I went high, to be honest with you, because of your knowledge of the ladies' game last season. It was quite good, actually. So that's why I've went for the 7. Right, John, that's just about us done then. That's quite a lot took in, just under an hour.
Well, I like my ladies, Xander.
Yeah, don't we all? Right, okay, John. So a tough game, John. Saturday, Hibs at Paradise. The weather's to be sort of overcast. 14 degrees, wee bit of spits of rain, you know, that sort of day into the day. I know the day is quite nice and sunny, but tomorrow's to be a wee bit damp. So at least the pitch will be nice and slick. John, I'll be quick sum up for you, buddy. What do you think?
Pitch is always slick at Celtic Park. Well, I really don't know what to expect for this game with Celtic only having 2 days rest and probably a change of squad. I would imagine a few players, like I mentioned. But Celtic should never be coming out that tunnel at Celtic Park and have nothing other than a win in their mind playing against any Scottish team. So I think we'll be okay, but I think Hibs will fancy their chances. So I'm very mindful of that Hibs will fancy their chances with Celtic only having 2 days rest plus all the shenanigans going on with the crowd and the board and stuff. So they might smell blood a wee bit. And I think it's going to be a close game. I definitely do. I'm going to stick with my guns at 2-1, Xander. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's unpredictable just now. It really is. I know every game should be unpredictable, but a flying Celtic, you'd be saying 3 or 4-0. You know, I know I said 3, but as you say, you got to take all that into account. The travelling, the rest of the Belgrade game, players will be tired. All the carry on with the board and the fans and supporters and the manager, etc. Taking it all into account, John. We just want to walk out of Paradise with 3 points, and that's the bottom line.
Absolutely, that is the bottom line. Get the 3 points, remain at the top of the table. Hopefully, if depends on the score with Hearts as well, how many goals they win by, if they win, that is. But that's the main goal. That's what we need to achieve tomorrow, is staying at the top of the table. I'm sure that'll be well drilled into the Celtic players.
Yeah, well drilled, and that's well said, John. Okay, we'll wrap up there. Thank you everybody for viewing. Thank you everybody for subscribing as well. You know, subscriptions are still going up slowly but surely. We're nearly at 5,100 now, so they're going up and up, but no up enough for our like. And just get that subscribe button if you can. That'd be brilliant. Thank you for your likes as well and your comments. Get your comments in for the Monday's podcast. We're going to do the comments back on Monday. We'll read some of them out. Good luck with the competition, everybody. Good luck. All the best of luck, everybody, with that. It's brilliant. I just love the competition. The 25-player league. It's heating up nicely. It's bubbling away nicely. And John, we'll catch you on Monday, buddy.
I'll catch you Monday, Xander. Hail, mate.
Hail, John. Thanks for coming on. Good luck to the champions.